This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Election Day just 2 weeks away, and there's some new questions this morning when it comes to Washington congressional candidate Joe Kent. Kent's team is expected to respond today to an article that claims the company Kent says he worked for last year doesn't actually exist. We'll let you know what KGW found out with our own investigation.
And Republican gubernatorial candidate Christine Drazen has laid out her plan to reduce crime in the state, what she's promising voters if she's elected.
Plus, Oregon's race for governor neck and neck right now, and new poll numbers are out. We'll take a look at where the candidates stand.
Again, it's a Tuesday morning, 2 weeks before Election Day. Rod Hill, we're voting for maybe a quieter weather day today.
You know, I'd like to run for office at some point, only to prove if people could really trust the weatherman.
Oh, we already have that answer.
Oh, boy. My political career's finished. All right. Scattered showers mainly up north of Portland on a live match story to Longview right now. And clearly there's a shower chance. But right now the Rose City's dry, and I really think we'll be mainly dry through the commute hours. We have some breaks in the cloud cover, 48 degrees out at the airport. So here we go. We'll call it mainly dry. The raindrop chance, mid-40s out the door. Same thing really at noon, 54, so pretty quiet morning. Cold front comes into town about 6 p.m. We'll start to pick up some rainy areas right about the time the kids step outside and start heading home. It'll be 57 degrees at that time. More on tonight's active weather coming in just a bit.
Thank you, Rod. Well, Drew, you said it, 2 weeks away now from the midterm election, and a new report is raising questions about the employment status of Joe Kent, a Republican running for Congress in Washington. A recent article by the Daily Beast found that Kent's company, American Enterprise Solutions, doesn't actually exist.
And Kent's staff says they do plan to release a statement later today regarding that article. Meanwhile, KGW's Catherine Cook went to his campaign rally last night to get some answers.
In Vancouver Monday night, Joe Kent took the stage to rousing applause. What he didn't take were questions from the media.
At the same time, we are being absolutely plagued by crime at every single level.
We wanted to ask Kent about this article published by the Daily Beast. It notes the Republican candidate for Washington's 3rd Congressional District has said he made just over $122,000 last year as a project manager for a tech startup called American Enterprise Solutions. The confusion, according to the article, there's no record the company exists. Reached by email, the Daily Beast reported Kent's spokesperson said American Enterprise Solutions is a technology company registered in Delaware and operated out of Reston, Virginia. However, the Daily Beast couldn't find a company registered with that name in Delaware, and neither could we. KGW ran its own search. 3 separate databases came up empty for business entities registered in Delaware under American Enterprise Solutions. Also, a national search for American Enterprise Solutions found several businesses, though nothing in Delaware. Again, we wanted to ask Kent to clarify who he worked for and why the company he lists wasn't showing up in any public records, but he declined to answer questions. A campaign staff member told us they plan to release a statement responding to the article on Tuesday. Those who attended the town hall told us they didn't know about the report and were just happy to support Kent.
We all just want to have a positive future together. We don't want to be divided.
This is positive energy. These are people that want to see a change.
By Kent's side Monday, former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, who recently left the Democratic Party.
Everything that I thought about him to be true is actually true. He's a great American who loves our country.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Kent is running against Democrat Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez for Washington's 3rd District seat in Congress. She owns an auto shop and responded to the article in the Daily Beast saying, quote, "My business definitely exists, not that anyone needed to ask." Again, Kent's staff told us they plan to release a statement today regarding his employer.
Meantime, Republican candidate for Oregon Governor Christine Drazen revealed her plan to reduce crime. Drazen was part of a law enforcement roundtable yesterday in Canby with members of the state legislature and other local leaders. Christelle Kumwe has a breakdown of her plan.
As the state faces challenges with drugs, homelessness, and rising crime, Christine Drazen says her plan begins with repealing ballot measure 110, which decriminalized possession of small amounts of drugs 2 years ago. The Republican candidate for Oregon governor also said she'll declare homelessness a state of emergency on day one. She'll support local efforts to get resources to help the homeless population, and if help was declined, they will not be allowed to remain on the streets. When it comes to rising crime across the state, Drazen pointed to her #1 priority.
Has got to be to put more officers on the street. And the extent to which the state is a little bit of a bottleneck for that when it comes to training and getting people out the door, I will do absolutely everything I can to expedite that process. We need more officers.
Recent polling shows Christine Drazen and Tina Kotek neck and neck for the lead. The Democratic candidate for Oregon governor held a rally over the weekend with Senator Elizabeth Warren, who made a plea to voters that the state was in jeopardy of turning red or Republican if Democrats don't come out to vote. Last week, KGW and the Oregonian hosted the final debate before Election Day with all three candidates for Oregon governor. You can watch the full debate right now on our KGW YouTube channel or streaming on KGW+. And remember, Election Day is on Tuesday, November 8th. I'm Christelle Kumwe for KGW News.
Okay, since the race is a virtual dead heat, let's take a look at a new poll conducted last week. According to the survey, Republican Christine Drazen has 43% support. Democrat Tina Kotek has 42%, and that split is within the 3% margin of error. Betsy Johnson, who's running unaffiliated, has 12%, with just 2% of voters saying they're undecided. The group Data for Progress conducted the poll. It's a self-described progressive think tank and polling firm. So this morning, we also have some updated numbers from 538. It averages all the polls and takes into account quality, how recent, sample size, and partisan tilt. Drazen holds the lead there at just over 0.5%.
A new NBC News poll shows that voter interest across the country for these midterms is the highest it's been in more than 12 years. Here's an NBC News preview of the deadlocked race for open seats in Congress.
Good morning, and we are 2 weeks away from Election Day. The battle for the Senate, the battle for the House, both very much up for grabs, although momentum seems to be moving for the moment toward the Republicans. Ahead, we are going to have all the latest on the midterm election.
Just want to remind you that ballots in Oregon for the election have been delivered, or they're on their way to your mailbox at the very least. For our full guide covering the candidates and the measures, you can text the word election to 503-226-5088, and we'll send you back a link to that article on our website.
Now to a few other headlines that we're tracking this morning. High school students around Oregon are planning to walk out of class today. Take a look at some video. Those are students walking out of Reynolds High last week, and it was in response to a shooting that happened near the school a couple weeks ago. Today, students at Jefferson High plan to walk out too after a shooting near the school injured 2 students last week. The teens participating say they're supporting Measure 114, which would make it harder to buy a gun and ban high-capacity magazines in Oregon. This afternoon's walkout is planned for 114. And federal investigators may have figured out what caused a float plane to go down off Whidbey Island near Seattle back in early September. The NTSB says the plane was missing a piece of equipment that keeps the plane stabilized, which could be the reason the pilot lost control. The crash killed everyone on board, the pilot and 9 passengers. And Portland-based rental company Vacasa announced significant layoffs. It's planning to let go of 280 people or so, or roughly 3% of its workforce. Vacasa has 400 employees in Portland and about 8,000 around the world. Company officials have not said where those cuts are happening. And those are some of your morning headlines.
All right, let's step outside on your Tuesday morning. That's the view from our Wells Fargo Skycam. No fog, low clouds. We can see pretty clearly there. But what I want to know,
Whoa,
because
yes.
over in Happy Valley in Clackamas early yesterday evening, we had some of the loudest thunder boomers I have heard in years.
Now here's what's goofy. That shouldn't have happened.
What? It was nuts.
Can we talk about what did happen versus what shouldn't have happened?
You know,
Was it in the forecast?
No, as forecasters, we look at these indices, and they're really usually pretty reliable in terms of whether you have an unstable atmosphere that can produce convective activity for thunderstorms. Models did not show that yesterday, but we had it. Pretty good rumbles of thunder here at KGW reported yesterday as well. So I don't know what to tell you. All right. Now, I will tell you, those same models say there's definitely a thunderstorm chance with heavy convection as a cold front comes in later today into this evening. Here's that next weather system. You can see the clouds gathering offshore. Overnight, we had some scattered showers, mostly north of Portland, and that's where they mostly are right now. So I like our odds of being dry, Vancouver, Portland, Salem through the morning commute, or worst case scenario, maybe there's just literally a shower or two to be found. Futurecast shows are pretty quiet this morning. Here we are now 2:30 this afternoon. There's that front offshore, and there's some rain pockets gathering ahead of that. And then the current timing puts, here we are at 4, puts the main frontal band right over Portland at 6 p.m. tonight. Could be some thunder and lightning with this. Brenda Braxton, you hearing this? Could be some thunder and lightning in Happy Valley later
I'll
today.
be ready today.
All right. And also the winds will kick up from the southwest. Could be some 30-mile-per-hour gusts with that. So that's coming in later today. So if you're going to be on the highway 5, 6, 7 o'clock, going to be pretty wet out there. Timberline's got 4 inches of new snow in the parking lot. They actually have a foot now being reported at the resort. How about that? Meadows picked up a little bit of snow yesterday as well. There's a winter weather advisory for the Cascades starting at 6 p.m. tonight, ending tomorrow morning for 6 to 10 above 4,000 feet. Snow levels eventually drop to 3,500. And tomorrow morning, if you are traveling on Highway 26 over Government Camp, could be, there will be some accumulation, maybe up to around 4 inches. So keep an eye on those conditions. Here are the temperatures out to start your day. Again, we're mainly dry with showers scattered up around the Astoria and Kelso. Kelso reporting 46. It's going to be a dry day once you jump east of the Cascades. Some of you will see some shower activity overnight tonight. Here's Portland 7-day. The heavy rain late today with a thunderstorm chance. Tomorrow's pretty quiet, sun and showers. Thursday, some showers pick up later in the day. Friday's pretty quiet. Saturday, really pretty quiet, sun showers. Rain picks up on Sunday into Monday. We'll try to do a better job of pinpointing that Happy Valley forecast moving forward.
Yes, I'm going to check your work tomorrow morning. Rob, thank you. Stay with us. Oregon's standardized test scores are out, and they are among the lowest in the nation. Educators say the pandemic is to blame. Coming up, a look at the numbers.
Also, a reminder this morning that our KGW Great Toy Drive is coming soon, but now, right now, is the time to sign up your business or your organization to be an official Toy Drive collector this year. Here's how you do it. Just go to kgw.com/toy. I can tell you about one place that has already signed up this year, Spangler Family Dental in Northwest Portland. A shout out to the group there at Spangler Family Dental. Thanks for hopping on board this year. We hope others will join you. Just go to kgw.com/toy and sign up today.